Welcome to the Council of Moms, where we are constantly trying to get it together. I have got an amazing council assembled today. We are so excited that you are here. The Council of Moms is a great place for us to come and share our real life concerns and love and just throw it on the table and just like share in it. And it's always better, I think, to share not only the problems, but the joys of motherhood as well. And so that's why we've assembled a council. Different moms of different backgrounds, different kids, different life experiences coming together with the common love of children, of family, and of trying to figure it out in real time, which is not nothing. The Council of Moms, we can't, we shouldn't, we won't do this alone. The Council of Moms, where you can take a journey without a single person asking, are we there yet? We will go on many journeys today. And as always, my very favorite, Council of Moms, made with real moms. Welcome, real moms. Today we've got Emilie, Julie, and Michelle. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Emilie Campbell. I'm the mother of three. I have a 22-year-old, 18-year-old, and a 9-year-old. I had my own grandchild.
Stop. I've never heard you say that.
Oh, yeah. That's how I feel. Well, I had him when I was 40, and now I'm 50, so I'm grandma age. But anyway, yeah, we are a family of creatives at our house. We're all right-brainers, and that makes life a little interesting and weird. We have a son who's severely disabled. He's got autism and epilepsy, nonverbal, lots of seizures, diapered. He's a giant, big, beautiful baby, and I'm obsessed with him.
Hi, my name is Julie Suazo, and I'm a mom of 5, from 16 down to 3. And if you would have told me at 16 that my most favorite thing would be hanging out with a council of moms, you would be surprised. But I'm not. It is my favorite thing. It's exactly where it should be.
I love it.
Hi, I'm Michelle Loveday. I'm mother to 5.5 kids. We adopted later in life our adopted niece, daughter, and the children are now, 26, 25. The twins are 24, and then 16-year-old and a 13-year-old.
Wow.
So I'm in the phase of life where everyone's hormones are going everywhere, and we're all crying together thanks to perimenopause and teenage hormones. And it's great. And all of them, except for one, are girls. So my husband gets to enjoy the journey. If you thought COVID was bad with toilet paper, he's always trying to limit what we use, and it's none of his business.
Yeah.
Council of Moms, where toilet paper is none of your business.
Yep. Paper products, none of your business. Anything that helps us, none your business. Yep. Well, I have something that is your business, and that is the question for this episode. And it's as follows. Dear Council of Moms, I have always said that I wanted my kids to be kind. Like, if I teach them nothing else, those are the kind of people that I hope I raised when they leave my home eventually. How do you do that? What are your best ideas for teaching kids and teens kindness?
Oh my gosh.
Love that question.
This episode is
so
my
much.
sit back and learn lesson. This episode
Stop
is my
it. Why do you say
You've
that?
been doing it.
Yeah, you're
No,
very
my
kind,
kids,
Julie.
This is certain. I know, but you can't just teach it all the time just because you're doing a good job. It's a tricky one for us. We every family prayer that we've had for the last 3 months has been, please let there be less contention in our house.
Really?
Well, you did say you had a 3-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a toughie. We're still at kind of a hormonal stage of time. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Sometimes you're the mom that teaches, and sometimes you're the mom that listens.
Yeah. And I love that question, because you do want to have kind children. You do want to have children that when you're not around, they're doing kind things and thinking about others. And honestly, as moms, we model that, right? Like, I think if nothing else, just teaching doesn't always have to be a teachable moment. It doesn't have to be like, sit down, we're going to read this book together on how to be kind. It's just modeling it in the store, modeling it and with your parents, modeling it in so many different ways, and then throwing it out and hope that they catch it. And so I think that's every mom. Like I really, and I've said it many times in many different spaces, I really don't want you to be a jerk. Like at the end of the day, you can believe what you want to believe. I hope that I've guided you to this path, but just don't be a jerk. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing worse than a jack. And so I really think that that's every mother's dream. And for me, honestly, is modeling through that kindness. And I feel for me, especially as, you know, and I know people are like, what does color have to do with it? But as a Black woman who's a leader, there are people that watch me differently. It's what comes in life. And so I think in certain situations that my children have seen me in, there's been ways where I've said, you know, certain things to people about how they talked to me or my children out in public. And my one daughter who's like, Mom, no. And I'm like, no, you can be kind and firm and set your boundaries. So kindness is not just like being walked over either. And so I have to really walk this path as I'm raising these women to go into the world that no matter what you say about it, they see them differently, and how to walk with your head tall, how to be kind, but how to be firm and let people know I'm not one to be messed with, but I will be kind. And it's through modeling. I love this question.
That's such a great, specific like point of kindness of what it is and what it isn't, right? About just even talking to them about you being kind isn't being walked over. Being kind isn't accepting things that are unacceptable. You can still have firm boundaries. I'll show you. Like I will model this in real time. Wow, that's really great. To me, that feels like advanced placement, kindness teaching. And you're right. I think it does start with modeling it. They watch you. Like if you're in a bad mood, if someone says something rude to you, what do you do? How do you stand up for yourself and have clear boundaries? Still get what you want, but also be kind about it and live in a society with lots of people who maybe don't have the same values that you do of kindness or manners.
I like that. What I feel like I can relate a tiny bit where we have like this built-in visual that would give people in the world a reason to not be kind to us or to my son that's disabled. Like we have a very easy, very visual thing that people can take as a reason to like to point out differences or what they see as something that's lacking or whatever, you know? And so I feel like in our family, we've had this very organic, very built-in way to try to teach our kids kindness. And I mean, my son that's disabled is 18. So for my kids' whole entire lives, they've had to, you know, make sure that people are treating those that have severe disabilities well and treating them kindly, and not just like with a disability. It's like anything that makes somebody think somebody else is either beneath them or not as good as them or different than them, I think gives kids and sadly a lot of adults a reason to not be kind. And so I mean, we're huge about that in our family. It's like you don't ever use certain words as a burn or to diss somebody. You know what I mean? You don't ever use someone's
there's
appearance.
A line. There's
a yes. Even when I remember when my daughter was little, she's a full grown up now, but or at least she thinks she is. But even when she was little, I remember teaching her that we never use the word fat to describe somebody's appearance. Like we told her that was the F word for a while because I never wanted my kids to ever see someone's appearance and use something about their appearance to talk about them negatively in any way, you know. And
we have the rule that anything they can't change within a minute isn't worth talking about. So like you have a booger in your nose.
I like
okay,
that.
Great. I can get that, right? But if it's something they can't change within a minute, then it's not for you to discuss. This is so interesting as you guys are saying this, because I'm sort of thinking about kindness, and I'm thinking about the idea of that being like passive, but it feels like to me that this is a very active thing. So actively advocating or actively protecting, right? And like standing up for someone that may not be able to stand up for themselves. And actually my kids do a really good job at that. Like we have a lot of contention in our home. But I do think that
harder
like
to each
building
other.
strong and capable people, right?
You have passionate children.
I
Passionate
do.
children.
They are strong-willed,
And that's where you want
passionate.
them to learn.
Yes.
That's where you want them to learn in the
It's the
home
line.
of the
Yeah.
and they're comfortable
Yeah.
at the home. So they should be having that in that space. And then when they
They
learn
are
how to
fierce
handle
protectors.
they go
Like
then they
will
can go out and
protect
practice it.
And I
Yeah,
think
in
that's
real
really
time.
where maybe the
Okay.
kindness practices. Yeah, is like, am I advocating for people that can't advocate for themselves, or showing kindness
And
to
I
people
love
that
what
are
you
not
say.
receiving kindness?
Yeah.
And that it is an active thing and it's not a passive thing. And I think about my mom was like this and kind of in a more quiet way, but she was always looking for opportunities to be kind and go out of her way to do nice things for other people, to invite children, over to our house if maybe their moms or dads weren't home, to bring neighbors gifts. And I think about it now, and especially neighbors who she knew were maybe alone or older, and she would show extra like sort of attention on certain days and occasions, and bring them things and include them in our family, things that were never like assigned or were she wasn't supposed to do, but I can see now that I've known her for so long that she's looking for opportunities to be kind. And if you can do something for someone else, then why wouldn't you just do it? And kind of prioritizing that in your life, like that's just who you are. We're all so busy, but thinking about other people in that way and having that in action, kindness in action, and having it become part of your routine is something that I realized, and I probably didn't realize this until I was an adult, but that was just part of how we lived growing up. That is a really great way to teach it, just making it part of your everyday thing.
And I think too, as you're doing the kindness in action and the kindness in words and the kindness in behavior, especially with my younger children as they're navigating social media, I always remind them anything you say or do is out there. And so
so great.
people, when you're doing job interviews, if you're unkind in your comments, like it's easy to just kind of dig and jab to a picture or a video that pops up. But your name is tied to that. And so people can search it. And then if you are active on social media, those comments come up. And we've seen it time and time again where people are running for political office, or they're becoming a journalist, or they're just even simply just trying to lead a school. And those comments come back to bite them. And so I'm like, you need to be consistent in your behavior at all times. You need to be that same person on and off the keyboard, on and off screen, in front and out of front of people. And I think as you're saying that, Lisa, it's interesting because, like during the holidays, we take our neighbors' gifts and we do different things. And so the one thing that I will never regret now, as my older children are out of the house and I'm still doing it and I'm tired. So sometimes I'm just like, I'm going to deliver these gifts by myself.
Yep.
I don't want to hear your mouth. You stay at home. But I'm like, no, I've got to grab them. These are neighbor gifts. They are part of the neighborhood. Let's do it together. And I have to ignore their grumbling. But then as they're running out and racing to see who can deliver the neighbor gifts the fastest on my left side of the car and the right side of the car, you're teaching them kindness because you're thinking of your neighbors and being intentional of like, we talk about what are the holidays for and what's the goals of our holidays. And so I think teaching with modeling, but then going back as she has, she said this question, she has teens and, kids. It can be as simple as when we're at the dinner table, I have the flip book of all the questions of how to act. And we talk about it like, we just say, okay, what would you do if somebody was making fun of another friend? How would you react? And you find out different things of, well, that happened before, and this is what I've said. And so it's just a quick question, to start the dinner
Oh, and I
meal.
want to interrupt you by saying I want to give a shout out to Brooke Romney.
That's who I was talking about. I didn't know if I could do that.
Yeah, no, she's a friend of the Lisa Show and Council of Moms.
Brooke
and
Romney, that's the flip book.
She has this flip book called Manners, and like Manners for teens, for adults,
Manners,
whatever.
52 manners.
52, and you can just do one a week, and puts up different scenarios. And what's been great, because I leave it out. And it's so
Yes.
funny because then
It's
as my
right behind my
teenagers
dinner
would like
table.
come over and hang out at our house and stuff, they would be like, oh, so how do you properly talk on the telephone or address someone?
Be
Or
sarcastic if you want, but you're learning too, Timmy.
Exactly. That's my point too. Of like, especially with teens, you can come up with these scenarios, but talking about it really matters. And I know that for me too, some of my kids have gone into the same industry that my late husband and I were in, and we're always like, you're representing our name. Whoever you work with, you be so kind. You be the most kind and gracious person on set, or when you're working, and we've tied that kindness back to like the family name or the family
Yes.
legacy, or whatever it is, because we have said, or we'll say explicitly, like, this is our family value. We want people to know that we're kind. Like, that's
Yeah.
what we care about.
And that flip book is great because there's like part 2, part 3. And then I've gotten little cards that I keep in my glove compartment in the car because, we're there a lot because I'm a professional Uber driver that doesn't get paid. And so when we're at a stoplight, I'll pull it out and I'll ask the random question that's on the card, and they'll answer, they'll do things, and it's hard because you're asking yourself, am I doing this in real time? What does this look like? And thankfully for us, we have some older children that we can see kind of some of the residual results, but I have to say it's important. And the one that my daughter was just like, Mom, she didn't want to talk about it at all, was I got to see the kindness in real time. My youngest, my 13-year-old, her goal in life is to be in point shoes in ballet and to be in toe shoes. It's like the last 3 years she's put it on her vision board. It's there and it's attainable. And I think she's almost there. It sounds like it. I can't tell. And so I happened to go onto Instagram to the ballet page, and the caption said, when you get the announcement that you're in point shoes. And my daughter, who's very tall and like the only Black girl in the class, I see her. So I'm like, did she get in point? And I didn't find out. But then the first 4 girls walk forward and they obviously get their name announced. And they cheer and it's fun. I watched the video loop again and I watched my daughter, and her head turns. She smiles at the young girls, and she's one of the first girls to come up and hug and congratulate them. I lost it. I started bawling. I'm crying. I sent it to my husband and to my mom. I'm like, look, she's cheering on. Because I always talk about women supporting women and the importance of being happy for other people when they reach the success. And that had to be hard because that was something she wanted. And she's seeing other people do it. I'm going to get teary-eyed again. And so when she came home, I'm like, I saw this video. I'm so proud of you. And this is why. And then I wanted to tell her sibling. She's like, no, don't tell. And I'm like, no, your sibling needs to know. You're really not a jerk. I mean, you act like a jerk to your sibling, but you have characteristics.
Pointing out this kind behavior.
Yes.
And it's a different flavor of it. And it's so significant. Yeah, catching them in kindness is a
reward.
great
Good
thing for a
sentence.
mom to
Catching them
do.
in kindness.
Yes. And there's so many books that can be read about kindness, right? You just pull them out, story time, and then ask them what they mean about it. I love this question. Kind is good.
I think what you were saying, though, Michelle, about just like modeling it, I think that's most important. My husband and I have always been like, the more the merrier. So we try not to be exclusive in who we hang out with. We're in the music business, and so we get a lot of colorful characters and different walks of life, and our kids know that there's no division ever.
Yeah.
There's no division there, and I hope that that's translating. Like, I hope they're soaking that up by osmosis, because they can be real big jerks and think that and get snobby, and but I think when it comes down to it, I feel like they're by force, right, learning these things that like we're not separate from other people. And anything that makes us different should be celebrated. And even when people mess up, we got to be kind. This has been a hard lesson for our family to learn, is it's easy to be kind to somebody, with a severe disability or someone going through something really hard, but to be kind to each other when we really have messed up, we're starting to learn that lesson, and it's a hard one. I think that one's harder than, getting gifts to people at Christmas or inviting people to a party, like the day-to-day being kind with the people in your own home is significantly harder.
Oh, yeah.
And important.
And
It's
important.
so important.
And I always, whenever I say it, I'm like, tone, watch your tone. Because I know you're impatient. I know you had a hard day. We all did. So I'm like, tone. And with my other one, I'm like, can you put some sugar on that? And she's like, don't say that. And I'm like, well, what do you want on it? Because I mean, cake, pie, but what you delivered was not sweet. So I don't want it.
Yeah.
So watch your tone. And I get
need
it
to put some
because-
sugar on it. I need to
Put some sugar on it. And I'll admit it too, like, oh, that wasn't delivered with much sugar. I'm sorry. But watch your tone, because we have like these deeper voices in my house. And so when we respond, it kind of sounds like we're irritated.
Oh,
and maybe we are. Maybe we are, but because we have deeper voices, our responses aren't sweet, so to speak. And I think my husband, who grew up in a sweeter toned home, he thinks that like I'm irritated when I respond. And so I have to really,
interesting.
because,
It might be misinterpreted.
It's
That's a
misinterpreted.
good point.
Like,
Yeah,
listen
when
to
you
my
don't mean
voice
it.
right now. It's like straight lace. I'm from Ohio, Midwestern, like newscasters study our voices. So we're giving it to you how we're giving it to you. And if I'm in the middle of cooking and you ask me a question, I'm like, yeah, it's over there. But to him, he's like, okay. And I'm like, well, what? What did I say?
I have that exact same problem with my husband,
so I
by
have
the
to
way.
watch my
exact same
tone.
problem.
And it's not
Interesting.
fake. Like, it's not like I'm not going to fakely respond because they can tell when I'm being fake about it. When I'm like,
It's
oh,
over
yes, that's a great
there.
idea. They're like, Mom, stop. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Don't be fake with it. But I can add a
I was
little
gonna
sugar.
say too, I think that like one of the things we do as moms, because like she wants this so bad. And sometimes we want this dream so bad and we've created what it looks like. And we're not living in the moment enough to realize that somebody did something really kind. Because maybe it didn't work quite the way we thought it was gonna be, right? Or it didn't look like what your idea of kind is. So I think also managing your expectations of like giving opportunities for people to be kind. Like sometimes we'll have the kids do each other's jobs just so that like, even though they all had a job to do, but they just do each other's jobs, right? But I think really like you can be working for the goal so hard that you're missing the process and just trying to make them good. Like, be kind, be kind, be kind, be kind. And then you're like, stop yelling at each other, and you're like, oh, I just like, that didn't go well. You've missed the boat completely because the goal is so tense and you want it so bad for them to just be nice that you've created a powder keg of confusion instead of just like really focusing in on yourself. Like we've talked ourselves, like we're the power. We're the people that if like we can project that and show kindness and be caring, that they will eventually start to get there. And I find myself doing that a lot. I project myself into the future of like, I'm seeing them being mean and I'm like, well, now they're terrible 20-year-olds. It's like, well,
And
he's
they've
5.
gone on a
So
murder spree. Yeah.
Right.
He's just, yeah.
And
Like,
it
maybe he's
started
just
here.
5. And like, yeah. And so really giving yourself grace and just going, if that's what I want, that's what I'm going to be. Right? If that's what I want, that's what I'm going to be instead of I'm going to make them kind. I want you to be kind.
I think
I'm gonna
trying to
do
pound
my
it
best to
into
work
them
kind.
that is not the
You
play.
are gonna
Do you know what I
be
mean? Like,
kind.
yeah. Like my
Whether you like it
mom
or
is
not.
Not going to
Yeah.
work.
I think my mom is
Yeah.
the most kind human on the planet, and I'm not kidding. I've never heard her talk negatively about another person.
Really?
She goes out, never. Like my mom has never gossiped, and she's 79 years old. And and she only she just loves everybody, and she's a helper. Like she is in the trenches helping whoever needs anything. And she never once in my whole entire life said, you need to be nicer, or you need to be kind, or you need to go out of your way, and you need to be of service, and you need to be thoughtless and She's never once
She's
given
modeled
me.
it. She's
modeled it my whole life, and hopefully I inherited some of it, And like I'll tell a quick story really quick from yesterday, because I've been trying not to do that, like pound the kindness thing into the heads of my children. But my 9-year-old boy, who has a lot of feelings about his disabled 18-year-old brother, who is a baby and makes noises like a baby and wears a diaper, and he can be scary and overwhelming and very loud and weird. I've let my son, my little guy that's 9, I've let him have all the feelings about it. And I've not said, you need to accept your brother. You need to be proud of him. You need to be his
Right.
protector. I kind of stopped talking like that to him and let it go and let him have his feelings and not really pounded anything into him that I want for him. And then yesterday, we're new in our neighborhood. And so my 9-year-old son has a new group of friends. There are
Okay.
10 9 and 10-year-old boys that were at my house doing
gift.
chemistry
Fun.
experiments.
Hallelujah.
I know, super fun. They were all in the front yard doing all this stuff. And my disabled son and I pulled up into the driveway. And I had Connor with me, and I was anxious because I was like, Jake is going to be embarrassed. Jake is going to want to explain to everybody what, that's my brother, or he's a big baby, or I just
Yeah,
felt
you don't
like
even know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. And I just walked Connor in the house, and then Jake came in to grab something, and I said, Jake, is it okay that your friends meet Connor? And he's like, yeah, totally. Like, didn't even think anything about it. No caveat. No, Mom, can you keep him inside? Mom, can you explain to them what Connor's like? Can you tell them what epilepsy is? Can you tell them what autism is? Nothing. He's like, yeah, totally. I was like bursting.
win.
I was so happy.
It's a
Love those
reward of
moments.
I
good.
just knew at that moment, I'm like, he's not stressed about it.
Yes.
He's not trying to be kind and model
Yeah,
this
he
like
just
fake
is.
behavior. I don't want him to be forced or fake or,
Yeah,
like you have to be kind and you have to be accepting and you have to be this. I just want it to be organic and natural. And he was so not thinking about it and so not stressed about it that I was like, okay, we're there. We're where I want him to be, where it's like he doesn't
Yeah.
And
have to
having
force
5
it or
kids, yeah, and having 5 kids too, you're going to learn that like there are going to be some of them that it inherently happens for them. Like they just are naturally a kind person. And I don't want to miss the beauty of somebody else that maybe kindness doesn't come as naturally to them, but fierceness comes really naturally to them, or creativity comes really naturally to them. And I feel like find their power, right? And in that, they're a gift to the world, right? And we can pray for the best, But like I got one that kindness is not necessarily her first attribute. It comes, but her other things are stellar. Like there are some really beautiful things about her that like she's an advocate. She's advocate. And I don't know if someone would go, if you thought meek kind, you're not going to see it, but she is an
There's
advocate.
different,
That's her
but there's
power.
different
That's
kinds
right.
of kindness, and that's okay
But
too.
I don't want to miss that.
There's different kinds of kindness.
Because I'm forcing or my desires of what she is. I want to find her power.
Yeah. And I think honestly, things that we do differently that my parents or my grandparents didn't do is we do talk to our children a lot in different ways. And so for one of my kids, there was something that was happening. I had a hard day, like a hard week. It was just, I was exhausted. I mean, anything that could happen happened. My dad fell, the water heater tank blew. It just was a hot mess express. And my husband was out of town, why not? And so, of course, my child came home. And I had to have an emotional setback moment because she came home on Friday. We're watching a movie, and she comes in the door. I have to go, and she runs back into the back room. And I'm like, "Hello, how are you? Like, do you even care that I'm alive?" And as we were talking, she's like, "Well, Mom, I had to do this, this, and this, and I wasn't thinking about it." And sometimes asking how your day was or what you did today, it seems like a mundane question because it's the same thing every day that you do. And so I stopped to think about, she's like, it's just not important to me. But like, if we talk about other things within that, that means a lot more. So I'm like, thank you for explaining that to me. And what kinds of questions would you prefer you ask me? But it would be nice when you walk in the door that you just stop and check in. And she's like, I can do that. I just feel like I show it in a different way than you do. And so just talking about it, I was able to understand my 16-year-old a little differently. And then I was able to step back and recognize, like Julie said, that's not the first attribute that comes naturally to that child because honestly, animals are better than humans. And so, and she's like, yeah, I've got to take care of this animal because they need me, whereas you can feed yourself. And so it wasn't a disrespect. It was just more of like, I've been gone all day and my lizard hadn't eaten. And so I wanted to make sure that everything was okay. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, so you are kind. You okay. I just was having a bad week. Forgive me.
You just have to show that patience.
You have, so
and
there's
model
it's this balance. It's this balance, but it's also great lessons, and you can point it out when you do it if you need to.
Yeah.
And, again, it's just the kindness and the different ways of kindness. It's not the fairy godmother kindness. It could be the advocacy kindness. It could be the gentle kindness. And I hope that, when I've passed on, that people are like, she's kind and she stood up for herself and others, and she meant what she said, and she didn't mince words, but she loved people, and
Yeah, and
those
we hope
kinds of
that
things.
for our kids too.
Exactly.
Thank you for such a great council of moms today. Emilie, Julie, Michelle, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to this episode. I think we should all be talking about kindness all the time, not just on the Council of Moms. I think this is a great topic and reminder. We definitely need it now in a different way, and different flavors and kinds of kindness is a great way to talk about it as well. Whether you're listening or watching us and seeing what we look like over on the YouTubes, thank you for watching the Council of Moms. You can listen wherever you get your podcasts. And if you are listening, please just press subscribe wherever you listen and like it. Maybe pass this episode on to someone who's been very kind to you as well, and return the kindness. And as always, send us your questions. You can DM us on Instagram. We read all of the questions, and it brings these really great, meaningful discussions. So thank you for those of you who have left those messages. We read them all. Council of Moms is a production of BYU Radio. Again, Emilie, Julie, Michelle, thanks for being here.